Hi, this is Brian, and today I'm going to talk about charitable fundraising organizations or facilitators. And I'm also going to touch on some fundraising which I feel is questionable but not related to these things. If you like my content, feel free to subscribe and like this video. If you don't, well, there's always next time. Anyway, so today I'm going to talk about charitable fundraising organizations, specifically charitable fundraising facilitators, such as GoFundMe, those telephone solicitors they call, asking you for donations for your local fire department or whatever. I'm going to begin by saying I have worked for a telephone solicitation company that worked in fundraising. Now, while I wasn't management, you could hear people, the management always bragged about how, well, we can raise X amount of dollars for you, but we're going to take X amount of dollars from you. So using the telephone solicitors as an example, I heard one manager at the place I work say, well, this campaign, we guarantee this campaign will generate X amount of dollars, but we have to pay our workers, we have to pay our lights, we have to pay our bills. And so when it comes to that, the charitable organization that contracts with these folks would get maybe a third of what they raised. So say your local police organization called and was trying to raise money for a raffle of some kind. If you donated $30, they'd be lucky to get 10 of it. Now, granted, these places are like boiler rooms, so 20 or 30 people are calling people at all times of the night, including during dinner. And so if they raised $15,000, that's $5,000 for your local charitable organization. Now, that seems like a lot. It isn't. But the point is that this charity you are trying to donate to isn't getting anywhere near the amount of money you are donating to them. Now, for online donation facilitators, the percentage is much less. And part of that is because they are facing stricter enforcement. I'm guessing, but most likely it's right. They're facing stricter enforcement of the laws regarding nonprofits, and most of these online facilitators are registered as nonprofit. So I know for a fact that GoFundMe, which is one of the main donation drivers I used, owns their payment processing arm. They don't charge a fee for fundraising on GoFundMe, but they make their 3% plus 30 cents per donation from their from their payment processing arm. So while their payment processing arm is a for-profit institution, GoFundMe can say, oh, well, we didn't make any money because we didn't charge anything for you to donate to this campaign. But as one of the people who donates to me regularly kind of pointed out to me last week, he was getting nonstop emails. I mean, even when I was just updating once every 2 weeks. It became kind of ridiculous. And, it's silly that we have to be having this conversation about this stuff, because it helps a lot for people I don't see. But when it comes down to it, you shouldn't have to be inundated with emails or mark as spam emails you might want to see just to help someone out, out, in order for them to get through whatever it is they're going through. And yes, I know I have used GoFundMe a lot in the past for various projects. But it's still kind of, when it comes down to it, insidious, and you can't say that these aren't for-profit industries when, as an example, I was watching Shark Tank a couple of years ago, and people were trying to pitch. I can't even remember what it was. I think it was a Hispanic version of Indiegogo or GoFundMe, where people could donate to specifically Hispanic causes. And they were pitching a 10% piece of this business for $500,000. And this was just a startup. And so, it's become, billions of dollars are donated every year. And it's become a major industry in the United States. And what it winds up becoming is you have this issue where people in charge, governments, whatever, stop providing the stuff they're supposed to be providing in exchange for the power you've given them, in favor of just saying, okay, fuck it, you can pay taxes to us, and then you can donate to help your local charity, because we don't give a shit. And that's really what it is. And I mean, like, what I find ridiculous is that there are jurisdictions that have raised property taxes on the citizens so they can pay the city administrators more money, but they refuse to provide papers, pencils, and various school materials to schools so that kids who are poor can actually learn. And when it comes to that, and there are, you can go on the internet and cite hundreds of examples, of similar stories where the people in power just say, hey, give us more money. We don't give a fuck about you. And I apologize for the language, but I mean, that's really what it is. And so it's kind of become a crutch where we don't get what we need from the money we spend. If you pay property taxes and then you have to donate to your local classroom teacher so kids can have paper, pens, crayons, whatever, it's a failure of government. And especially in the time of COVID-19 and these protests for Black Lives Matter, which I don't know how you feel about it. I mean, I feel that the protests are long overdue. I don't know if anything is going to come of it because, yeah, there's some change, but like I was explaining to someone I know, I don't see enough of a change for it to actually change anything substantively. But that's a topic for another video. But, the fact that even if, I mean, I don't know what you see when you log into GoFundMe to donate to one of my campaigns. I can only go by what I see. And what I see is hundreds of campaigns, completely unrelated, or in some cases just completely out of touch with what I'm trying to do. And it's, and a lot of, like, if you see someone on GoFundMe needing to pay for an operation because their health insurance won't cover it, that's a failure of government. I mean, hell, Andrew McCabe raised over $1 million for his defense against the FBI after he was fired on GoFundMe. And that's a little silly. But anyway, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you didn't, well, it's a video. Have a great day. Thank you.